Hey guys, welcome back to Quarantine Marketing. My name is Alex. This podcast is powered by Oceanus Digital, and today is a very special day. I have a very close friend of mine that's going to be joining us for the interview today. She is an expert when it comes to the real estate market. But as you guys know, everything is we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on in the real estate world. We don't know what's going on with sales. We don't know what to do. This is what we're here for. We're bringing on very strong thought leaders in our community, and we're bringing them onto our podcast to share some insights and to share some valuable information with you of what you should be doing today. So I want to introduce Darina. She's patiently waiting. Hi, Darina. How are you doing?
Hi, Alex. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate.
Yeah. So Darina is from DP Homes, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does. So Darina, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help your customers and what you've been doing right now in these last two to 3 months during this whole pandemic.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, so I am a real estate investor. I also hold my license. I primarily focus in Worcester market. Lately, I've been shifting to Fall River, Massachusetts. And my favorite type of real estate is multifamily. So I believe in passive income. I believe in cash flowing properties. And my niche is working with investors who are on the same mission to get to their financial freedom. So I love it. And there are different types of tasks and projects we tackle every day. And the one thing, according to this book, right, Gary Keller, but the one thing is to build as many investors who are on the mission to own cash flow properties as possible, and all the day activities supporting that.
Why is it important to build investors, your investor portfolio? Why is it important to work with different people?
Sure. Well, when you focus on everything, your focus dilutes. Like you are drifting now. If you're not picking your niche, you are not really focusing on anything. So when I can tell you what happened. About 2 months ago, I put down all my lists of people that I worked on and touch on every day, and stressing out like I have to touch on them once a week, twice a week, whatever, right? So I put the list of everybody I knew on Facebook, okay, like 2,000 people. Now I put a list in front of me from a different CRM, client management system, of everyone that I ever met on all kinds of networking events, and half of the people I don't even remember. Then I put a list of roughly 600 of multifamily and just in general real estate investors, and it made me so excited. It's like, you know what, this is it. This is my one thing. This is my client, and this is what I'm going to be focusing on. And it made me excited, probably because these people are on a mission to beat the poverty, because I truly believe that the number one enemy of the United States is poverty. Nothing has its meaning until you give the meaning you want. So if you believe in abundance, if you believe that you can take steps towards that financial freedom, it may take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Are you ready to do it? To beat the poverty, to get rid of that scarcity mindset, then let's go. I'll take you with me. I'm on the mission, and I want to have like-minded people. And I love kind of show to young investors and newbies on, hey, listen, this is how you break down the numbers. This is how many properties and that you need to get in order to either quit your job if something that you don't like. If you love your job, keep your job, of course. But the mission overall is to just have less poor people. And you can only help that if you're not going to be one of them. And
Right.
You have to put work, and you just have to surround yourself with like-minded people. And I love pushing investors, young or experienced, to get more of cash flowing properties. The more you have, the more work you put, passion, the more you have, the less stress you get or scarcity. Or like you can then take other people from your family or friends with you. And real estate is the safest investment ever. And I believe that it, even the market goes up and down, the real estate always has time. It has a cushion, it has a gap to react. It's not crashing overnight. You can always prepare, you can always readjust your strategy, you can always predict based on cycles. So it's a very unique and very safe compared to everything else investments, and it can get you where you want to be in life.
It's funny. You talked about the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture in life, 10 years, 15 years from now, and investing into properties. But a lot comes with building the bigger picture, right? You have to take the necessary steps to get there, whether it's making those 25 phone calls a day or 50 phone calls, whatever your war map. I like to say, I've been coached by Sam Ovens, a great consultant out in New Zealand. He's actually in New York now, but he talks about the war map, and he talks about building a bigger picture, right? But to get to that bigger picture, you set necessary steps. So if people right now, what is the real estate market looking like? And if they want to get into real estate investments, what are the necessary steps that they're going to need to take to kind of follow your path to their success and envision that bigger picture?
Great question. Obviously, it didn't happen overnight for me. I've been investing
Been
for
in it
over.
for a little bit now, I believe. At least 5 years that I've known you.
Yeah, so I started in 2015, honestly by
Five
accident.
years.
Yes, it's gonna be 5 years in September. It happened by accident because one day I received an email in my email box about, oh, come to a free seminar about financial whatever stuff. Okay, I thought I'm going into a seminar. It's gonna teach me how to manage my credit cards, how to put a balance sheet, because even though I have education, my higher education in history, so we didn't really talk about balance sheet, asset liability, net worth tracking sheets, how to manage credit cards, nothing like that. So, I thought I would go. And that's how it started, where I first heard of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, this entire way of thinking differently. And I got hooked on that whole idea. I spent a year and a half just studying that. And to begin with new way of living life, you have to start with your mindset. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, because everybody talks about, hey, mindset is very important, but it is. And
You don't sound like a broken record at all. Mindset is important. Without your
it
brain, you can't function.
correct. And it's just, again, nothing has its meaning until the meaning you give it, right? So is being rich good or bad? It's up to you, the way you think, right? Money good or bad? Okay, it's up to you how you're going to treat that. And a lot of people, they've never been rich, so they can't say money is bad because they've never been there. It's just an assumption. It's like, who are you trying to convince, myself or yourself, by saying that money is bad? I'm on the way. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out how it feels. So mindset is number one. I started to read books. I started to attend seminars, kind of wrap my head around what is it like people are so excited about. Like, I want to find out. And education comes in play, like the basics, the terms, and you don't have to be super smart, or you're not building rockets or Tesla. You just following the path of other successful people. Like, you find a person, you want what they have, stick to this person, work for them for free, shadow, read the book, and just apply. And it's every day getting out of your comfort zone, right? That's how I see you can start, and it will take some time, but the reward is just worth it, of the journey. So mindset, education, and start building your tribe, networking, and there's no bad questions. So don't be shy, ask any questions you want. People around you are going to thank you for asking this question, because they didn't ask, you did. So
It is true. It is
like,
true.
right? How many times, like, oh man, I wish I had a question. Someone asked a question, and you're like, oh, thank you so much. for asking that
I
question.
I
What
was
is
just about to say there are many seminars that I've been to with different leaders and different thought leaders, and you're sometimes scared to ask the question, but there's this one person that always asks it, and you're like, yes, thank you, I got my answer without asking. So I know that feeling. So
Mhm.
with being surrounded with all these like-minded people, they want to succeed. You're talking about making money and being rich. At the end of the day, I don't think money is necessary. I don't believe that money is the key to happiness, but in order to be happy, you need it. Uh, so that's the way I look at money. So
Yeah,
regardless of what the story is, there's different ways to look at it. Just like you said, um, my way is saying it's not the key to happiness, but you need it in order to be happy.
yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. It's byproduct. Obviously, you have a bigger why, because once you reach your financial goal, you'll be very upset because you're done with your goals. Like, what's next? Because you got that $1 million in your pocket. So you always know that there is a bigger why, and money is a result, and money is a tool to get you where you want and where this why can be fulfilled. And again, it's the tool. It gives you choices, better choices, and abundance of choices. So you can help a lot more people to get where they want to be.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
So
it's
with
really
everything you've been surrounding yourself, and I know real estate market, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. It's been dated when it comes to technology and the digital aspect of things and marketing. If I'm not mistaken, it's all built on the salespeople. It's all built on people like you to go out there and do it yourselves. But in regards to the brands, what are ways that they were able to adapt during this pandemic and innovate some of their resources and tools to reach out to people, to get their name out there, to bring some value to the community?
absolutely. Nothing has been more important lately than social media. We all talk about be on social media, but listen, everybody's on their Facebook and Instagram. Everyone, it's almost nuts. If you check now that feature, like how many hours you spend on your phone screen time, you can see that it's doubled and tripled and more for a lot of people because they are on Facebook and Instagram. So this is number one. For sure, free marketing, go live every day. Share an update for any person, regardless whether you're in real estate. Go live 5 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and share an update. And for real estate investors, real estate agents, buyers, and sellers, that's the best way to communicate. And what else we've done is we kind of looked into all kinds of Facebook groups and join them and start dropping the value there too, or content, or communicating with the leaders of these groups and what are they doing, how are they doing, and everybody is just literally staying on top of being present every day on social media. Of course, we all heard of virtual tours. So all of these showings still happen, and I didn't really see the drop in sales, especially in Booster. I haven't seen any drop in sales, and believe it or not, no drop in price, only getting higher and higher and higher. So virtual tours help a lot. There's many ways to market online. So I guess if you sell a house, you just blast social media with virtual tours, with videos, and even showings still one-on-one were happening the entire time. Like legally, you couldn't do open house where everybody's on the same place at the same time, but you could do showings regardless. It's a matter of like, if there's a tenant or if there's an owner, are they comfortable? Okay, well, they can step out, you put a mask on, you put all its necessary, gloves, sanitizer, all of that, and show the property. Yeah, so it's been just virtual for a lot of people. And luckily, even our grandmas are on Facebook. Everybody's on. It became a really, really huge crowd for any type of advertisement whatsoever. And going live or sharing stories has been the most rewarding, has been the most effective sorts of marketing. Yeah.
It's funny that you say grandparents on Facebook. I have my grandmother. She calls me on Messenger almost every single day now. Instead of calling me by the regular phone like she used to, she FaceTimes me on Messenger, Facebook. I think it's the cutest little thing ever we've had. We even have our little dinners every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. I have to make sure I have to cook lunch to sit down with my grandparents, just to chat with them. They're out of New York. But yes, it is. It's growing, and you are right when it comes to looking at the screen time. I'm scared to say how much screen time I have on my phone right now looking through social media. I don't get it. I don't get that much. And I am a social media person. I love social media. I love posting. I love getting out there. I love reaching out to people. I mean, that's my job. Um, but the amount of time I'm spending on my phone now and on social media, just looking through everything, besides everything that's going on, is it's increased tremendously amount. And it's like you said, it's increased for other people. I had an idea, and I'm not sure if this is already happening in the world, but what if there was a keychain lock that's connected to your phone where the tenant can just unlock it, or the buyer that wants to buy the house can just unlock the card, right, itself, and then be able to go into the property with the landlord or the realtor accepting them. Everything kind of like everything on the fly. You know how Airbnb, you check in and there it is? It works the same way for buyers and sellers. Is there something out there like that? I was just thinking about it yesterday.
I've worked with a few companies that they do home automation, and it's like unlocking your car from a phone, right? You can do it pretty much from anywhere. So I'm sure there is a practice where buyers and sellers do it, but I feel like it works in high-end neighborhoods where, like in Worcester, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Though of course, you can just open anything through the app. Why not? And I know that with home automations, we had actually a presentation last year. Home automation, you can shut, like say you have your cell phone, you can shut the water off from your cell phone being 100 miles away, or open the garage, or open the door. So of course, if you communicated with your agent, you can do it. I just feel that it will take a little bit more time for people to get comfortable with that, because so far it's just been a logbox, regular traditional logbox, and then everybody's using just a logbox versus an app on the phone. But the future is probably in the app, an automated system where you just connect all the dots together through your phone, and you can click, like that code, like scan code, or like when you scan the code, it's like all kind of
QR code.
square. Yeah, thank you. So there will be a way just to scan that code and open the door. It's just
And I see it in the future. I do. I think with all the changes we've already had to make rapidly in these last 3 months in regards to restaurants doing takeouts, and the way you get your haircuts, and the way you're supposed to protest, even in regards to 6 feet apart, and go out there. I know you're laughing at it now because everybody's close to another, but there's so much change that are going on. So maybe something in the near future that we will see. Now, Darina, is this a right time to invest? Obviously, the answer is yes, right? But is this the right time to invest in real estate? And what type of real estate? Because I have been hearing rumors that the right type of real estate right now is going into the warehouses. So I'm assuming the value of warehouses have gone up in the last couple of months.
sure. So we always hear, like, when was the right time to invest in real estate? Yesterday, right?
I like that answer.
It's always last year, it's always yesterday. And tomorrow you're like, oh man, I wish I bought this house yesterday or last week or last year. Now the price went up. I'm more than sure, and again, I'm not having a crystal ball, and it could not be more cloudy for a lot of people, but I believe that investing now, getting into at least your first multifamily with FHA loan, now is the right time to invest. And the reason I'm saying is that, first of all, so there's two type of people right now. I see one are waiting for a crash, and they're just waiting for foreclosures to happen so they can scope up the property. Or another type, they're buying now before it goes up in value even more. Because what happened is when the government flooded the market with trillions and trillions of dollars, what is going to happen? That the value of the dollar is going to be cut in half. So now if your house cost $500,000, now in a couple of years it will cost 800, 900, because it will take more dollars to buy the same house. It's like it will take more dollars to buy a bag of milk. It will take more dollars to buy an ice cream, because the value of the dollar is getting cut in half because we're flooding the market with so many new brand printed money. So inflation will take place, and it will cost even more to buy a house in the future. So I see a lot of people, why we having bidding wars still. We have over asking offers on a lot of websites. I have 2 clients who've been outbid 4 times already. It's like nuts, because people know it's gonna go in price, it's gonna go up in price, and right now interest rates are very low, and FHA is lending pretty heavily. Federal Housing Administration supported loans with 3 to 5% down at 3 to 4% interest rates. Is still very low historically. So people are buying, and we will see foreclosures. But I believe in a couple of years from now, because right now you can't evict anyone and you can't foreclose anyone. So unless you have private mortgage on the house, private loan, then yeah, they can do whatever they want. But if you have government support loan, then nothing can be done to you. And everybody who really struggling there in forbearance till the end of the summer, at least. Some banks are doing 6 months, so nobody's getting foreclosed. And if you have good relationship with tenants, you're getting paid because everybody get unemployment or stimulus check of $1,200. So money are coming to tenants, and nobody's taking houses away. So, but for landlords and homeowners who didn't buy correctly, they might be foreclosed, but not now, in a couple of years. So right now it's a good time to buy, because I believe the real estate will only go up. And I can see like nothing has been dropped in value, nothing. It's just in Worcester now, you're buying a regular 3-decker for $500,000. People are buying. It blows my mind, but they're buying it, you know? So that, yeah, it's the right time to buy. I encourage not to overpay, but it depends on the situation. Sometimes if you pay extra $20,000, $30,000, it's only $58 extra a month. Just cut your Starbucks coffee once a week and you'll be all right.
I should cut down on Starbucks.
Oh, Starbucks. Every time you go to Starbucks, $9, $10. Like, you know, that kind of gotta.
Always worth it, though. It's always worth it.
It's an experience, right?
It is. Well, we talked about scarcity earlier, and as an investor that am personally looking to invest into real estate, I know who I'll be calling, Darina. My question becomes, when I'm investing into real estate, I want to make sure that I'm renting it out, that I have an Airbnb, that people are able to go there. With the travel industry being completely non-existent, I'm putting you a little bit on the hot seat here. With the travel industry being completely non-existent, and a lot of buyers whom I talk to, they don't want to buy homes because they can't rent them out. They can't have people come in. They can't do it at Airbnb. They can't rent out the rooms every single night. What is going on with the Airbnb market? And how long till people actually start renting out Airbnbs and start traveling? And we don't know yet, correct?
We don't know. As far as like you brought a good point that of course if you own a house, it's good to rent out a portion of it or the whole thing. And I believe that's why the safest investment is 2-family house or 3-family house or 4-family house with a residential loan at 3% down, where you just rent totally separate apartment 24/7. You don't have to worry about people not living there because they have their own separate stuff. With Airbnb, yes, there have been a lot of people being hurt in the past 3-4 months. And People are afraid, even if you have a house and you rent out a room, people are afraid to come in and stay with you because they don't know who you are and you don't know where they're coming from. They just flew from Las Vegas, for example. But I've seen Airbnbs happening still on vacation homes. It's especially with quarantine, you work from home. So I've seen people actually traveling and staying for a month or two elsewhere where they still work from home, but they just didn't want to be in this small apartment anymore or house with their family. So they go and rent out. Like I have friends that rent out New Hampshire houses for a week just to get away from everybody. If you live in the same house, then chances are you won't be renting it till July, perhaps, when everything gets opened up, especially in Massachusetts. We're like the last state to open things up. I checked airline prices, they're going back to normal. They're back to the price. That means that people are buying, people started to travel. I have a friend in Austin, like, oh, let me see the check. Let me see how much is the ticket. It went back to normal pricing. So it means people started to travel already. People started to book things, but not till full speed. So if you again renting out a room, you probably still going to be struggling for a little longer. If you have a house that is on the market, people are so sick of being home, they will be renting it very soon, if not already. Like I can see again, New Hampshire, it's booked because people are like, huh, get me out of here. I want to go for a week and relax and have my work done there.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was one of those people that wanted to leave. We have a place out in Spain, Taya, that I wanted to go to. Now, I was scared I couldn't get back into the country. That's why I didn't go. uh,
Yeah, in the country you can still travel. Nobody is stopping you. In the airplane, you sit 6 feet apart, like they sit you apart from each other, and you still fly the same normal way. The
you're
air,
still breathing the same air, though, essentially, through the cabin.
correct. You have a mask on, and everything is sanitized. The airplane could not be cleaner than ever. So there's always a risk, of course, but with cautious and proper steps, you can fly. So, and again, the ticket price increased back to normal. That means people are traveling. People are already moving. People are opening up businesses in many other states. So people are traveling. So I don't think that Airbnb will suffer any longer. It will go back to normal pretty quickly.
That's exciting news because I'm ready to get out of my house.
If you
uh,
go online, you can book. There's so many places there waiting for you. Yeah.
I might have to pick a destination. Darina, so this is very valuable information that you just shared and some insights that you shared with our listeners. But you also have a way to get people that want to learn from you. Can you share about how people can learn from you and talk to Darina on a day-to-day basis? What is it that you're doing right now that people connect with you and learn from you? Would you mind sharing that?
So you know how you can cuddle in your blanket and wait till everything goes back to normal. But I think normal is going to be new normal, right? So you gotta thrive during a pandemic. Like Robert Kiyosaki says, don't waste a crisis. The crisis doesn't happen all the time. Don't waste it. Do something with it. So with my partner and I, we decided that being present on social media is not just one option. We created a mastermind for off-market sellers. We call it wholesaling mastermind, but we have not just wholesalers participating. There's three sides of the coin: wholesalers, buyers, and agents. And we see a lot of value in people who join us, and we created that community because we keep each other accountable twice a week. We get together on Zoom. We have 30 to 40 people all the time. We go through questions. We go through little lessons. So we teach 15 to 20 minutes a new system or go over objections, scripts, and all that. And then for 2 hours straight, we do cold calling. And it may sound terrifying, but it's actually pretty fun because you do it together with 20 other people on the line, obviously muted. But we reach out to homeowners and looking for deals because everything is very expensive on the market on MLS. And we have more and more people join just because they feel sense of belonging and they understand that it's not that scary to pick up a phone and start dialing. And we're using speed dialers like Mojo, Call Tools, Redex. So we are not just typing every single number and calling. Like we call 100 and 150 numbers in an hour. And then out of those 150 phone calls, maybe 15 will pick up and maybe 5 will listen to. So it's just, just like you can even like type your emails while this thing is dialing for you. So we created that just to get the same minded people on board. And the mission is all the people in our community, they will eventually become our partners. Our partners, wholesalers eventually will get their license. Just a little secret, we'll be building our brokerage here with my partner, and our niche is investments. So anybody on the call, whether it's a buyer, we have wholesalers calling for this particular buyer, their lists that they provided, like 1,000 addresses with skip trace numbers. So wholesalers calling for that buyer. And if the buyer is working, guess who's going on appointments? I go because I'm trained to do negotiations. So it's like a triangle of, like wholesale calls, the buyer ready to buy, I can go on appointments. If the price is way too high, then I can offer to list it. And I still share compensation with the rest of the people. So it's very interesting, and we have a lot of ahas, and we always drop a little education at first. I will share podcasts and books for people to get a little bit more confident, and then we dial together, and sometimes we go live, like in front of everybody. Hey, what's up? And that's one. And then we also have on Saturday, every morning on Saturday at 10 o'clock, we talk about wealth principles. And it's free. It's just an hour and a half of education and mindset and updates. And we have people, not just real estate people, we actually have entrepreneurs. Some own hair salons, some own restaurants. They're joining us in order to learn what's happening in the world and how to take their business to the next level through the way to reach out to clients or the way to think. And there's just so many. We call it 52 wealth principles, which is basically once a week there is a principle, and we target it, and you can rewatch it. It's all recorded. Next week we talk about the next wealth principle, and so on and so on and so on. So there's like twice a week we do wholesale mastermind, off-market sale mastermind, and once a week it's free wealth principle. And I will send you the link as well, Alex.
This is amazing. This is amazing stuff. And the link, guys, just so you know, it's right below in the bio. You guys can go right there. You guys can click on the link, and make sure you click on that on Saturday at 10 a.m. So you are there to understand what the 52 wealth principles are. Whichever principle they're talking about that this week. Don't tell us. Bring it up. Don't ruin the fun. But Darina, this was awesome. And if you guys want to reach out to Darina, all of her information is in our bio down below. Just click right below. Make sure you click the subscribe button as well, and follow everything that Darina's doing. Reach out to her. Make sure that you are one of those 15 people that picks up the phone call out of the 150 to learn from Darina, because I have, over the 5 years that I've known her, learned so much. Darina, is there any other way that our listeners today can reach out to you?
The best way is Facebook, to be honest. Messenger, Facebook, my profile is public. So if you're not in my friends box, you can still message me anytime. I'm sure we have my email address below here too. You can email me and text me. I don't really, sometimes my phone is always on silent because I protect my time. But if you text me, I will respond pretty quickly. So you can text me anytime.
Well, everything is here for you folks. So reach out to her. Instagram, Facebook, text messages. It's not, we'll put it in there. And email is right there. But Darina, again, thank you for joining us on Quarantine Marketing. This was absolutely amazing. And, I hope to see you soon once we get out of this quarantine. And I am happy to say, I'm going to say it after the interview, I was one of those people that you reached out to. So thank you for reaching out and checking up on me. That really
Thank
means a
you.
lot. All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Bye.